Okay, we're rolling.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you. I hope you're doing well. Now, I want you to think about NASCAR for a second. IndyCar, car racing. Wherever you are in the world, you've got cars that race. Oh, hi, I'm Dave, by the way. You got cars that race around the track and people cheer and it's fun, right? There's an element of risk. There is the element of potentially an accident, mistakes. Somebody's going to make a bad decision and someone else is going to capitalize on it and they're going to win the race and hurrah. It's a big thing. We go to these races because of the excitement, because of the drivers, because of the fast cars, the thrill of watching a live race. It's really cool to be there and be part of that. You go to these dirt tracks, you're going to be covered in dirt and filth yourself by sitting in the stands because they spit up so much dirt. But that's part of the ambiance, right? And we enjoy it because it's entertaining and we don't know what's going to happen next. Now, imagine if the race was done by machines and machines or self-driving cars drove the race. No, there's no human behind the steering wheel. Just a bunch of cars programmed to go left in an oval for a couple hours. And every car is perfect. Every car drives exactly where it should be. It's all on a predetermined thing. And it's just boring. Like there's no element of surprise. There's no humanity part of this. It's just a bunch of pre-programmed self-driving cars turning left for 2 hours. Which do you think would draw a crowd? Well, the self-driving cars would be interesting to see maybe once or twice. I don't think you're going to get a big audience, not like you're going to get with NASCAR and all of that. People love to see people doing things. And in a world of podcasting, I think there's a parallel between this example of self-driving cars drawing an audience versus cars driven by humans drawing an audience. I just want you to imagine sitting there in the stadium and taking this in. Would you be thrilled to watch self-driving cars drive around and around and around? Would that keep your attention? If we remove the human from the creator's driver's seat of the podcast, do we still have something that feels alive? Something interesting, something that draws attention, something that keeps an audience sticking around? If we surrender the driver's seat of our podcast to an AI, where AI does everything from the beginning to the middle to the end, and you really don't have any input at all. Your hands are off the steering wheel. It's like a Tesla, self-driving Tesla. You're just sitting there watching Netflix on that big screen in front of you while the car drives you to work. Are you really driving? Are you really driving? Something to think about. We're going to compare cars, manual transmission cars, which I drive, and to Teslas, self-driving, and then parallel that over to podcasting. This will be interesting. Be very interesting. I'm glad you're here. I've been driving manual transmission cars since I was 15. In Canada, you're not supposed to drive until you're 16, but I had my ways. I've been driving for a very long time, like 40 years, and driving manual transmission, standard, whatever you want to call it, is my preferred way to drive. To drive an automatic car is not as engaging for me as a driver. Even just that, not having control over the car and feeling more like, I feel like I'm kind of sitting on my lazy boy or my recliner at home when I'm driving automatic. It's just, there's just less things to do. And then throw on the cruise control and there's even less to do, right? Driving standard at least I got some skin in the game, right? I can really screw this up, especially when you're on like a really steep hill, and you are probably the person who comes right up behind me and gives me like 3 inches between your car behind me and me, and I'm on a hill. I have 3 pedals and 2 feet. Do the math. It's hard. And I start to roll backwards, and if I go too far back, I'm going to hit you. It's my fault. So I got this weird game I'm playing as I drive to continue to go forward and not roll backwards and smack into you. There's some stakes. I got some stakes in the game, right? There's some table stakes. In life, my preference is to do the driving. Driving my car brings me joy. Going through the gears, gearing down, gearing up, taking a corner dropping the gear down low, and it's fun. And in the winter in Canada, we have snow, and driving standard is great because I don't even really need to touch my brakes. I can slow my car down. I can anticipate things with the manual transmission that my friends in the automatics, you're either go or stop. I have one more option with manual. So driving brings me joy. To go to an automatic lessens the joy. To go to a self-driving car where I don't do anything, except just sit there and stare out the window, would be monotonous and not as pleasing as a driver. I love driving my car, and I won't give it up because driving a car, and I'm even getting less and less options around manual transmission cars these days because people just don't know how to drive them anymore. It's a great theft deterrent because anybody who jumps in my car, they'll be like, oh, heck no, I can't drive this thing. Great, get out of my car. I love driving my car, and I love being a part of the machinery that makes this car move. Nothing happens without me. There's no cruise control. There's no automatic start. There's none of that stuff that I can use when I'm driving through the city. I have to really pay attention and be good at what I do, driving my car. I love driving my car for the joy of driving. When I'm thinking about this, I'm comparing this, in essence, to podcasting. I love podcasting for the joy of podcasting. It brings me joy to create this episode. It brings me joy to record all these different shows. It brings me joy to be doing this than watching TV right now. This brings me joy. I can automate this whole process. I can give my voice to an AI tool. I can give it a script. I can even get an AI model to create the script, and I don't even need to do that. Give that script created by AI to an AI voice, who then publishes an AI podcast. It sounds kind of like Dave, but not really like Dave, because it's not weird like Dave yet. And I could do it all by pushing a button or scheduling it and not even actually come to the mic anymore. I don't even need a mic. I don't even need any of this stuff. AI could do it all for me, and I don't even need to be involved. It's kind of the Tesla self-driving model of podcasting. And what I'm finding when I talk to podcasters, some, not all, thankfully, some feel that this is the best way to podcast. I'm just going to set it up and let it run automatically, and what goes out, goes out. I might not even listen to the episode. It is what it is. And I don't have time to do this, but I want the results. So I'll let AI create the content, write the content, speak the content, video the content, edit the content, publish the content, and then send out email newsletters and post to my socials and do everything behind the scenes. And I don't have to do anything. It's the Tesla self-driving car model of podcasting. And I'm not a big fan. I love driving for the joy of driving. I love creating content for the joy of creating content. So what this podcast episode isn't, this isn't a bashing of AI. This isn't a fear around AI. This isn't a somber surrender to AI. None of those things. AI is an extremely valuable tool for us in content creation and podcasting. And it can really help us to uncover and discover the things that we don't know. Because there are things that you don't know. It helps to fill in the gaps and give us some perspectives of things that we wouldn't have seen on our own. Things that we're unaware of. We don't have the entire vast knowledge of the internet at our fingertips. We don't. On our own. We don't. We need help. We need to broaden our content so that more people can connect with the episodes that we create for our listeners. We don't know what we don't know. And AI can really help us here to fill in those gaps. My fear is that some creatives are shutting themselves off entirely from their content and creating their show, asking AI to create the content and even voice the episode. And in doing so, they begin to lose the human connection that they used to have with their audience. There's a podcast about podcasting, and the host, before AI was a thing, the host was really engaging. The host was funny and unscripted, and you never knew what you're going to get, which I like. I appreciate that because it's fun for me because I don't know what the next episode's going to be like. But something's changed for that podcaster. They're a renowned podcaster. People know this person. They're starting to read from AI results on their show. And what's interesting is it sounds like they're reading the result in real time for the first time. Like they didn't pre-read it because they're coming across words that they would never say. And then commenting mid-sentence, well, I would never use that word. Anyways, and they continue reading. And I actually sent them a message and said, I loved your show before you started using AI and before you started reading. And they actually commented on it. And then they just went back to what they were doing and continued to read from their AI results. I miss them. I miss the show they used to do. And they're trying to be efficient. I get that. Everybody needs to be efficient. We only have so much time. But I've lost the connection I once had with that podcaster because they've surrendered their thoughts, their stories, their examples, their connection. They've moved from the driver's seat to the passenger seat of their show. They've jumped from a manual transmission where you have complete control of everything to a self-driving Tesla. And it shows. I think as podcasters, we need to keep this in mind. Keep your hands on the wheel of your content and answer the question in every episode, in everything that you do, who is in the driver's seat right now? Is my AI tool in the driver's seat or am I in the driver's seat? Who's driving this thing? Who's leading? And who's following? Who's here as a support? Who's here as a spectator? Where are we going with this thing? I think we need to broaden the question here a little bit too. Will the world fall in love with AI-generated everything? Let's go back to the racetrack again. Will the world fall in love with self-driving race cars? No humans. Where all the cars are really good and perfect and can anticipate the other cars around them and there's no accidents, there's no mishaps, there's no mistakes. It's almost predetermined who the winner is going to be because everything's perfect. There's no accidents. It's just, the cars are just dialed in so well that it just takes all of the history of every car race in the past and applies it, downloads into the cars, and the cars know exactly what to do. What fun is that? How do you cheer on your favorite driverless car? Go Car 22. Yay. Like, they don't sign autographs. The car can't sign an autograph. We lost something. We lost something in that. If you think about podcasting, that's one thing, but then also think about like music and movies and books and other creative fields. Will the world truly fall in love with something that's totally AI generated, total AI content? Will the world totally fall in love with that? Is that where we're heading? Or will there always be something missing when the human element is removed? I want you to just kind of wrestle with that for a second. Wrestle with that question. There's no one right way to podcast. There are no gatekeepers in podcasting. Your podcast can be done the way you want to do it. It's up to you. Your goal is to present your content to the audience you've built over time in the way that you want to do it. I want you to just be mindful of how much you adopt from AI into your world and be comfortable with that. If it saves you time, it makes your show better, awesome. That's kind of like moving from a manual transmission where you do everything to an automatic transmission where you do most of the things, but you're still driving. There's some things that make it easier. You don't have to shift gears anymore because it's automatic. That could be having audio editing tools that help your show get better. That could be coming up with ideas for questions for your guest. That's the automatic version of driving a car. You're still driving, but there's things that are there to make it easier for you, where you don't have to worry about everything. Manual transmission, you're doing everything. Everything. Nothing happens without you. And you have 2 feet and 3 pedals, right? There's a lot to go. There's a lot of mental gymnastics, and you got to be on your game. Automatic, not so much. Self-driving car, you don't even need to be there. Your car can drive up to you in the parking lot, and there's nobody in the car at all. There's 3 examples then of maybe how you do your podcast. Where you do everything, soup to nuts, the whole thing is you. No, there's no AI at all. It's all you, all the time. There's the automatic version of your show where, yeah, you use tools, but you're still driving. You're still accountable. You're still behind the wheel, hands on the wheel, 9 and 3 or whatever it is, 6 and 10, 5 and 4, whatever it is now. I don't even know what it is. You're still at the wheel in automatic. And then there are the people who farm out their show to AI. They don't do any checks and balances. They don't review the content. An episode goes live and they haven't even heard it. They haven't even heard the episode. And they look at their phone and go, oh, I guess I released an episode. That's interesting. I should listen to this. See what I said. Right? Where are you on this scale? Will you sit in the stands and watch a bunch of humanless cars turn left for 2 hours? Perfectly. Or are you going down the road to that dirt track where you're going to be covered in filth from the dirt spitting up dirt and sand and mud all over the place? But you got to see real humans battle it out and use their skills, their talents, their gifts, their intuition, their humanity. And they're going to make mistakes. They're going to make a wrong turn. They're going to miss a gear. They're going to touch the brakes at the wrong time, giving somebody else the advantage. There's table stakes. There's some we don't know what's going to happen. Do you prefer a podcast that's created by a machine that's perfect but has no soul? Or do you want to go and listen to somebody who's not always perfect, who might say and ah and stumble a little bit here and there, but they're real and you can talk to them. You can meet your heroes, your podcasters that you listen to. You can have time with them. They respond to you. And you can build a relationship with them, not just virtually and in your head, but actually you can actually meet them. Where would you go? Which car event will you go to? Perfection? Nobody behind the wheel? Or imperfection with the opportunity for something to be great or an epic fail? Which one do you choose? Keep your hands on the wheel of your content. Even if the option is there for you to take your hands off the wheel. Click that button that disables that driving option where you're no longer driving, and make your content as real and as personal and as connective as you possibly can. If you need help, reach out to me, howtopodcast.ca. ladies and gentlemen, let's start your engines. Let's go. Thanks for listening. So here at the How to Podcast series, we love to hear from you. You might think that we get a lot of feedback. Man, we don't. We don't get a lot because people just feel like, why bother? Like, why? Does Dave really care what I have to say? And I do. I actually do really care what you have to say. I love your input. I love hearing from you. And we've started a survey for our listening audience, which includes you right here, right now. And I'd love, love, love for you to head over to howtopodcast.ca. And you'll see our survey right there on our website. And take a few minutes, come through, answer the thoughtful questions we're asking of you to make the show better. Not just for you, but for everyone. Your feedback is really going to help shape the show. And I selfishly just want to hear from you. So if you're thinking, Dave probably already knows what I think, I don't. I really don't. I'm not good at reading minds. My wife will confirm that completely. So I don't really know what you think of the show. I don't know if you like it, if you like how long the show is, how long the episodes are, that Dave's doing 365 episodes in a year. Oh my gosh. Like, I would love to hear from you and get your thoughts on this very show right here. So head over to howtopodcast.ca, click on our survey link. It's also in the show notes for every episode, in the most recent episodes, and I'd love to hear from you. So as a listener of this here very show, your feedback can make this show so much better. So much better. And I'm not drowning in emails and voice messages and speak pipes and buy me a coffees right now. So I'm putting the ask out to you right now, as a listener of the show, and you're still here, that you take a moment, head over to our website, click the link in the show notes for any episode, and go to our survey and let us know your thoughts about this show, how it could be better, and what you love, and what you're like, Dave, can you stop doing this? That would be really helpful. Thanks for being here and being part of the How to Podcast family. See you over at howtopodcast.ca. Talk soon. Thanks for being here. Bye. You're still here. Amazing. That's cool. Okay. Here's the bonus stuff because everyone else is gone. Just you and me. I'm talking to a podcaster this week and they asked me, Dave, what's your measurement of success? And I had to think about it for a second because I don't get that asked that often. Generally, people are going to tell you listener numbers and top 1% global ranking, blah, blah, blah. Lotto. That's a bunch of garbage, by the way. They're going to say, I'm in the top 100 of this and the top 200 of that. And I just want to be on the top of the charts, right? Like a song. You want to be the top charting song this week on the top 40 countdown. All that means nothing if you're not connecting with real humans. My measurement of success is the fact that you're still here and that I have time with you. And if I ever lose sight of that my podcast is about you, it's not about me. Yeah, it takes some kind of motivation to come to the microphone and record this for you. But if it wasn't for you, there's really no point to any of this. There's no reason to do any of this at all. I could go do something else right now. But the idea that I have time with you, no matter where you're listening around this globe, is still, it's perplexing that I have time with you. Like you could be anywhere doing anything, but you're still here right now with me. And it's sobering to know that I have this opportunity. You and I can agree on one thing. We only have so much time on this planet. And the fact that you have chosen to give me some of your time to be here right now is nothing that I take flippantly. I think this is probably one of the coolest thing about podcasting. It's not thumb scrolling on your phone. It's a connection. And that's how I measure my success, is if I, Dave, can connect with you as you listen to this and go beyond being a statistic in a chart on my computer that this many people listen to this point in my podcast right here, this moment. If I can go beyond that to your name and that you and I have met virtually or in person. That's my measurement of success. And if I can do that one person at a time and just keep doing that on a regular basis, this could really work. This could really turn into something great, which it has turned into something great. But it can get better and better because I'll get to meet you. I'm on a mission in life to collect as many people as possible. And podcasting is my way of leverage to make that happen. So I would love to add you to my collection of friends and family and community. And if this podcast is that gateway to do that, then I'm going to keep podcasting. You got to come up with what your measurement of success is. And I would say you need to come up with that early, because then it'll kind of help guide you towards the goal. If you wait too long, you're going to have to maybe rework what you've done in the past, or refocus, rebrand, rejig what you're doing to get to the result that you thought you were on, that path you're on. So start early with this and have a plan. And if you need help with that, howtopodcast.ca. To my point, I'd love to collect you and add you to my collection. We can have a virtual coffee together and talk podcasting. Happy to do that anytime. My calendar link is always on my website. And let's meet, let's chat, and let's see where we can go together. I hope you find this show to not just be thoughtful, sometimes entertaining, sometimes slightly weird, but I hope that you find this to be a home for you on your journey of podcasting. And thank you for being here. It means a lot. It really, really does. Take care.